Hi, Dr. Mark here for Natural Health. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're having a great summer as we're having a pretty warm day today and everybody's enjoying it, so that's great. Tonight we're talking about prostate issues during the month of June, talking about men's health. But on these type of health shops, a little more general so everyone can get some good information out of them. When we have our patients come in, we would go through our nutrition response testing technique and find out what organs are showing up as a weakness. So if then we would treat that directly or monitor that at least. But in our world, anything can cause anything. So we just look for the underlying cause of all this, and that's what I'm going to talk about. Is basically the ways to help cancer in general, even prostate issues. Again, they go hand in hand. We're doing detox work, we're getting on better diets, we're doing things, giving the body the nutrition it needs through good foods so it can repair itself. A lot of good information, a lot of good general things that help specific problems like prostate issues. So we'll just go in. Of course, I'm Dr. Mark here at Natural Health. I've been in office or in practice now for 40 years, and so we went through a lot of different things, learned a lot of different things. And we've really culminated it with the nutrition response testing and the chiropractic work we do here. Dr. Chip does the chiropractic work mostly. I try to work on more of the nutrition things, kind of keep ourselves specialized a little bit, but we can still do both, so it's all good. But cancer prevention, again, working on just basic health. We talk about cancer prevention, but all these things are just good health things. So a few things: optimize your vitamin D. And that's not just by taking a handful of synthetic vitamin D3. That's not what that means. That means you have to have good oils. You have to be able to digest good oils in the diet. And those oils then have the oil-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K. And get into the sunshine, having a good exposure to sunlight. That's what activates the vitamin D, makes it so it does work in the body correctly. Avoiding excess protein. And nothing wrong with protein unless you have problems digesting it. And that's where a lot of people get into bowel cancers and which can lead to prostate issues, again, because of the toxins by the body not being able to digest the protein. So it's not really a problem with the protein. You can have protein, just being able to digest it, utilize it, and get the byproducts out of the body. And that takes some work if you're having problems with that. There's some reasons why that happens. Eating living foods with amazing health benefits. By living foods, we're talking about more raw foods, foods that have all the natural enzymes in them. Enzymes do a lot of things in the body, but one of the big things they do is clean the trash out. They digest away old trash, meaning old metabolic byproducts, help remove old cells, all that kind of stuff. Important for lots of things like that. And then most of your raw type foods, the less processed foods you have, that they can almost digest themselves. It takes a lot of burden off the digestive system. But if you're constantly eating cooked foods or overly cooked foods or processed foods, the body has to really work to digest those things. And of course, the difference between a simple carbohydrate and then a heavy protein is the digestive ability. The body doesn't need to use much digestion for a simple sugar or refined sugars. It just absorbs just real quickly. And of course, cancer loves sugar, so that's why people that eat sugars all the time are just asking for trouble, especially the refined stuff. And then people that eat proteins, as long as they're digesting it's okay. But if they're not digesting it, and they're not eating it because they're not able to digest it, well, they're not getting the building blocks they need to repair themselves. This is all interrelated, of course. Simplifying the cleaning supplies. That really looks at all the environment that you deal with every day, the chemicals that have a useful purpose, but overdone, wrong kinds, too many, the body can't handle it, it's over toxic, then it lends you towards all these problems that we talk about. Using green and beauty products, again, the same thing with the getting away from the different toxins and things in those, the chemicals used. Ditch your non-stick cookware. Teflon is a definite carcinogen. They've known it for years, but people keep using it and wonder why they get cancer. Well, just don't use that stuff. Good old iron skillet's good. It takes a little more work, but that's too bad. Keeps you from having problems like that. Drinking clear, clean, pure water. We like spring water because it has minerals in that, but just getting a good source of good water. Water is needed for all kind of activities in the body. One of the big ones though is just detoxifying the body, getting lymphatic drainage to happen, draining out all the toxins and gunk and things. That if people are drinking water, I mean, even just being hydrated correctly will save you from having all kind of problems like thick blood and blood pressure issues. There's just all kind of things being hydrated correctly helps with. Choose organic and locally grown foods. That way you know where the foods come from. Foods that come from out of the country sometimes have different pesticides or herbicides and things that are very toxic because they can use them in those places. And then you're ingesting those things. And you, again, wonder why do I have all these toxin problems? Why do I have all these health issues? Skip the canned foods. I mean, again, most of the foods in cans are cooked, overcooked. There's not much nutrition in them anyway. What's in there is usually carbs. The body just absorbs that. There's no nutritional value. And again, those canned foods were heated, pasteurized, usually heated to high numbers there to kill all the bacteria. And then also the lining of the cans, either they're like the tin can or they have a plastic liner. Not good foods to work with. And of course, ditch your microwave. Microwave is very convenient, but it also destroys any nutrition that's left. And one of the worst things you can do is microwave your food in plastic. Have it in plastic containers and put it in the microwave. You're just driving all of that, the chemicals, DHT and all that kind of chemical from the plastic right into the food, and then you eat it warm. Oh yeah, it tastes so good, but then you wonder again why you have all these problems. So just a lot of things like that, not only for prostate issues, but just all the different cancer things, all the different health issues, immune system support, nervous system, how that works. I mean, these things all help everything. We're concentrating on cancer prevention here, but it works for the health in general. So important to realize that all these comments we're making look at just general health. And this is not just for people that have problems already. This is for people, young people, anybody that's developing immune systems. I mean, we should all get away from all these bad habits of eating out all the time, fast foods all the time, drinking soda, not drinking hardly any water. So just important to realize there's a lot of simple things you can do that keeps you out of the medical treatment system. Because once you're in there, you have to be treated and treated and treated, which is okay if that's the path you choose. But if you want to try to avoid that, just doing some simple things. And again, we get into the personal things for that exact person that we're looking at. That's what we do the nutrition response testing technique for, is to figure out what does that exact body need. And that can again be, it happens from all the environmental issues that person gets into. There's genetic, the blueprint of the genetic of genes kind of lends people towards certain issues, and you figure all that out. The stress that person's under in their job, whatever. And that's what we do again with our nutrition response testing, is figure out what nutrition that person needs to not burn themselves out, to keep their body healing, strengthening, growing, and not end up with degenerative disease, cancers, all this stuff. So it's again a good preventative, not only for disease, but just to be healthy, to understand how to be healthy and have energy and able to. That's it for me tonight. Pretty quick. Again, if you have any questions, you always call us at the office. We do have free counseling. Ask about what we're doing and see what we're doing. It's quite a bit different than especially mainstream. And then don't forget about our website, Natural newsletter we send out just one a week, and we go over some things, more things there in detail. And again, you're always welcome to come to the office and ask questions. So I think that's it for me. I'll turn it over to Dr. Chip. Have a great evening, and don't forget to drink your water. Great.
All right. So again, yes, we're on Men's Health Month here at Natural Health, and we're going to talk about more of the prostate here. But again, like Dr. Mark explained, is that a lot of things that cause certain issues or different pains in the body, different symptoms, it all stems from getting something that unbalanced enough, or the body unbalanced enough, to where we start having issues. Now again, it kind of, you would say, manifests in different ways in different people, just based on a lot of, would say, little different factors or many other factors. But the main thing is that we're actually able to get more focused on back to the health rather than actually being scared and avoiding the sickness, you want to just again turn back to again good overall health. And I'm Dr. Chip. Again, sorry for the little late start here too. So had some technical difficulties. So again, we go back to different things here, male cancers. But again, we always want to make sure that we have a good strong foundation of what we're doing. Again, a lot of times too is that we kind of get really complex of what we have to do, all these different things. But when we really come down to it, there's really just some things that really stress out or cause the body to get unbalanced in certain ways. And so again, you have 3 kinds of stress here. You got the physical, the trauma. And so again, that's kind of more of, you would say, your extreme injuries. And again, there's different ways to heal the body that we don't want to make sure. We want to make sure that, again, if we have an extreme trauma, like you say you crashed on your bike or you had a car accident or anything like that, and something really severe, we want to make sure you get into a good means of care. That would be more of the hospital, medical system, emergency room, all that, to take care of that. Again, and then going back to that physical trauma, and again, this is that if we are, you would say, working out a lot, we're on the move all the time, if we're not having rest and recovery, then we're not able to, you would say, balance out that system very well, or balance out your body. And so again, just like any sports person or athlete, anything, anybody in different workout environments, they know is that it's not about the workout itself or the sport itself that's actually building up muscle or building up tissue, but it's the rest and recovery afterwards. Really, a lot of that stuff is breaking down the tissue. So again, in order to build it up, you have to tear it down, but you have to make sure you're building it up. So that's the thing too, is that if we're going go, if we're not being able to relax, recover, rest, that is going to unbalance the body in a certain way. So again, nutritional and chemical, that is more too along the lines of just like anything, any say chemical or too much of anything going into the body, such as like a poison or anything like that. If it's too much for the body to adapt to, then again your body's going to start showing signs, symptoms, pain, because it's saying, hey, there's something going on that you need to address here, so that again it doesn't lead to further issues, such as severe issues or even pain or death. So again, the nutritional side is that your body is wanting good food, nutrition, all that too. Again, kind of help the body to promote and good, you would say, synthesis of enzyme or interactions within the body. Again, the body is, would say there's trillions of interactions going on. There's trillions of cells in the body. So again, all these little different vitamins and minerals and all these nutrients there too help to facilitate the systems of the body in a good way. And so when we're able to support that in a good means, again, by eating good foods, again, not splurging out on different things like that, then again, that can help the body's overall systems to work properly. And again, just making sure that we're actually, you would say, giving our body a little love actually too, just to help get good foods there, to help clean those systems, and so that everything's working properly. And then again, emotional and thoughts. And again, a lot of this too is that, like we said before, is that if we're on the go, busy all the time, if we're not, getting something kind of more creativity, hobbies that we like to do, something that we love, anything like that, some fun things for us, then again, we're kind of, you would say, going into more of that kind of always on the go, so much, so much overwhelm, so much things to do. And if we're not giving ourselves time to, you would say, play or have fun, or and again, it doesn't have to be things that we used to do as kids, but just stuff that we're able to, again, either rest or relax, or even, get together with family, friends, smile, laugh, just anything like that, again, helps us to get back in that positive nature there too. And so again, the thoughts there too is that a lot of times is that we tend to, some people here and there become closed-minded into what's actually possible. Now, again, there's always two sides to see everything, just like a coin or a piece of toast or a shirt. There's a front and back to everything there too. So a lot of times is that if we don't really know what we're capable of, if the human body, or what our bodies are capable of healing, if we're not actually doing the right things for that process, then again we just can't understand that scenario there too. But so instead of, like we said there too at the beginning, instead of preventing the sickness, rather we should, I would say, more lean towards promoting health and striving for that. And so again, just two ways of doing things. Again, not good or bad, but more of the preventing the sickness. Like we said, in extreme emergency situations, we're going to want to do that. We're going to make sure that that person's able to survive whatever happened. But more of the time, much of the health issues there today, we want to make sure we're striving for health. And if we're able to do that more of the time, if we're able to be healthy more of the time, then we're not going to have to worry about those issues such as sickness and illness. So again, that's kind of doing the things that are more aligned to health. And so again, like you would see, is that it's very common that there's a lot of health issues in the world, or especially the U.S. nowadays. And you can see is that I think the statistics, 6 out of 10 have one chronic issue, 4 out of 10 have 2 or more. And so that's actually, you would say, a lack of understanding of how our bodies work, what actually helps promote good health. And so again, it's kind of more of that we need to have this understanding back. We need to gain that wisdom, that knowledge back to where we're actually able to help ourselves, so that we don't have to rely so much on preventing that sickness, but getting back to good health. And so again, like we said, these are the 3 areas there. Now again, we can kind of go more into the nervous system, how our bodies are regulating different things. So I've explained this a little bit more too, but again, things that cause stress on the body or cause it to be unbalanced is that we can actually get too carried on, and the nervous system can get too much in one mode or the other. And so again, we have, you would say, 2 modes. Again, this is a very generic or simplified view of it. But you can see is that there's a sympathetic nervous system and a parasympathetic nervous system. And the sympathetic is more of your fight or flight, your flee, your run, hide, all that. Your parasympathetic nervous system is your rest and digest. And so again, the best way for this is to happen is your body's being able to adapt to whatever environment it is in. And so again, when the fight or flight situation, that is more of wanting to get away from a predator or be able to dodge a car, or in the street or anything. That is very adaptable to those situations. However, if we're stuck in this situation, kind of that overdrive, go, fight or flight, that can cause the nervous system to actually, you would say, get depleted or to get unbalanced in a way, and then it causes a lack of communication from your brain and body. And so that actually can cause issues, and that's why, and that's again how the body can get pain or symptoms. It's just saying, hey, we need to be able to regulate back there too. So then again, of course, the parasympathetic nervous system is again the rest and digest. If we're able to do that well, again, we want to make sure that we're in the state when we're eating foods or relaxing or hanging out with friends and family, all that. That's where we want to be at in that state. But if we're in the rest and digest state, when a car is coming and we can't get out of the way, again, that's not very adaptable at all. So again, we want to make sure that we're in both of these states, because in the parasympathetic, that's able to absorb good nutrients from our food, able to hydrate, all that stuff. And so we want to make sure that we're able to go back and forth with these systems there too. So again, just a brief explanation of that. Now again, like we said, there are two different sides to the coin here. So again, we have the preventing the sickness or promoting the health. And so again, or you can have the disease, where we have bugs and viruses and bacteria, all of that. And again, there are modes for that, and we want to make sure that we're not getting overwhelmed with those things. But there's also you would say, a dis-ease, and that your body is always being able to combat or able to protect itself from a lot of different foreign invaders, like we said, the viruses, bacteria, fungi, all that. And so again, when it's in a very balanced state, it's able to be very optimal for health. And so again, our bodies are, you would say, self-healing, self-regulating, they're adapting all the time.